I know many of the people who are watching this week's 90 Day Fiance, The Single Life, were asking the same question. What in the world is wrong with Natalie? To which I retort, what in the world is wrong with Josh? And why would he choose to be with Natalie? I think that that's more of an appropriate question. If anybody has seen Natalie, how she acts and how she reacts, they understand that you could be in the room with her for 5 minutes and then realize that there's something wrong with her. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not trying to be cruel. But I honestly think that Natalie needs to sit down and have a conversation with a trained professional so that she can work through her issues and start to conquer some of her insecurities, her low self-esteem, and her general direction of how she wants her life to go and how life actually works. There's a childish part of Natalie which forces her to act almost like a child, like she's almost stunted in her adolescent development years, and maybe even prepubescent because of the way she reacts and acts towards things. If she has a problem with somebody, do you ever notice that she falls back into a point where she starts to throw temper tantrums, which is more actions or conducts that would be in line with somebody who is maybe between 2 to 5. That's something you would expect a child to do in the terrible twos, not somebody who is almost a middle-aged woman. Like, it's just a crazy situation. And the fact that Joel is sitting there tolerating this, or Josh is sitting there tolerating this, and he's going along with the entire revelation, and Natalie throwing her attitudes, and all of a sudden she's speaking to him, then she's not speaking to him, but she's not speaking to him because she loves him so much. They're on their second date, technically, and she's already acting bananas, and he continues to stay there. He continues to call her, and he continues to be involved. Josh is essentially an overage frat boy. In his approach, if Josh was in his 20s, I would call him a F-boy. Because the way he conducts himself with these women and the types of women that apparently he goes after isn't indicative of a man who's serious about himself, nor respects himself or holds himself as a person of value. When you go after somebody who is easy pickings, low-hanging fruit, and easily swept up and grabbed and gotten, then you don't value yourself. If you have to if this was a video game and you had to put it on easy mode, then you are not a player. You are a novice at best. Now, you might get cool toys because you pay for those cool toys, but you are not the guy. You're not the man. Josh acts like he's the man, but he's not the man, because if he was the man, he would be going after women of quality, women who have more direction in their life, because there are plenty of women. If you're straight up, there are plenty of women out there who are willing to have sexual relations and not have relationships. The world is full of women who will go home with you and not be interested in trying to date you, not trying to marry you, not trying to make sure you call them or text them or whatever the case may be. If that's what you want, all you really have to do, and if you're really that guy, is just be honest. This is what I want. This is what I expect from the women that I date. And she'll look you in the face and say, that's exactly right up my alley, because I was going to tell you if you didn't tell me. Let's go back to the hosey mosey. And that's how it rolls. But Josh, he goes after Natalie, who is a woman who clearly has commitment issues, relationship issues. She has abandonment issues. This woman has all kinds of insecurities. She thinks she's pretty, but she's not that pretty. She thinks she's going to be committed because she loves Josh, but she's not sure about Josh, so therefore she's angry with Josh. Like, she's so lost, it's insane. I can't even keep up. I have to keep little cards as to what her mood is going to be. I couldn't imagine standing in a room with her like that. This in and of itself is the cost of riding the crazy train. This is how you pay for the ticket. You have to put up with all the foolishness that goes along with the crazy town stuff. When she does all this, when you go for that woman who is of a lower caliber or has issues, or you go for a guy in the same vein who has lower caliber or has lower issues, you have to deal with a lot of foolishness, because that's part of The reason why he was able to get her, because he ain't got game, so the reason why he was able to get her is this exact same reason why she's acting crazy now. You can't have one without the other. I don't feel bad for Josh at all, because you signed up for this. And even if you were somehow tricked or somehow fooled and you didn't realize how bad Natalie is, you should have taken all that into account and drew conclusions as to what your next move should be. Natalie and Josh are technically on their second date. The first date was last season when they went to the golf course. They're sitting there playing golf. They go to the 19th hole. They have some drinks at the well, and they're sitting there drinking and talking. And while they're talking, Josh tells her, hey, by the way, I have 2 children. I've been married before. Natalie gets up, runs off crying. Now he reconnected with her, and he met her in LA, flew her out to LA, and that's technically, even though it's over a couple days, it's technically only the second date. And during the course of this second date that's been drawn out over the course of a couple days, Natalie has already decided that she not only wants to marry Josh, but she wants to start having conversation about how many kids they're going to have and what they're going to name them. I mean, like, this is ultimately the baseline of delusion. And the fact that Josh is just sitting there playing along with it and acting like he doesn't understand and he's frustrated and I don't understand what's going on. Bruh, this is what it is. Gentlemen, we have to start being more accountable. You can't just go home with people and then be surprised that they're acting crazy. She signed up for something that clearly she wasn't ready to do. And if you value yourself, you value your time, you value your sanity, you don't want somebody blowing up your phone, cutting up your car tires, putting your car up on bricks every 2 weeks, busting out your windows and all that, then you make sure that when you're talking to people, you don't deal with people or put things on people that even though they say they can handle, you recognize that they can't handle. It's not that difficult. I could tell from seeing Natalie perform during the first 90-day series when she was with Michael, there's a lot of things that Natalie cannot handle. And being in a relationship with a guy and having sex with him and then really wanting to be with that guy because she sees him as a ticket or a way for her to get to the thing that she wants, and then to be denied that thing, Natalie is going to lose her mind. And to a point, and I know this is overplayed and is over-exaggerated, but guys, especially, we have to start being more cognizant of the fact that the cemetery is full of guys who took women for granted, thinking that you could use them and abuse them and do whatever you want and then just drop them off and not have to worry about them anymore. Some people are so fragile that the one thing that you do to them could be the straw that broke the camel's back. But what I did wasn't that bad. It's not the one straw that broke the camel's back. It's the million straws underneath that one straw that broke the camel's back. It's that one thing too many. And in Josh's case, Natalie is under a lot of pressure. She is in a situation where her green card is questionable because we found out from last season that Michael, her husband, didn't file for the 2-year visa application. He never put that in, so she might get deported. She has a lot of things going on. And for you to take somebody who came to the country fragile and put one more thing on her and tease her with the idea that she might finally get what she came to the country for and live that happily ever after life that she's always wanted, and then for you to take that away, that could be, to you, it's no big deal. To Josh, it's no big deal. But to Natalie, that could be the straw that causes her to snap the hell out. And you have to take all that into account. If you value your safety, you value your freedom, then you have to start being more responsible with how and who you conduct yourself with. And it occurred to me that Josh is doing the thing that so many guys do. You see a pretty girl, or you see an opportunity for you to be able to have sexual relations with somebody, and you pursue that person not thinking so much about the consequences. What are you going to do after you get finished doing the thing that you want to do? In this case, Natalie has objectives that she wants to meet. And Josh clearly has already met his objectives, and he's good with it. And he's going to keep hanging out with her, keep doing his thing, but he doesn't really want to be with her like that. And she's not the person to be messed with. Be responsible to yourself. I don't want to waste anybody's time, and I don't want to participate in something with somebody who doesn't want to participate in the thing that I want to participate in. And if you live your life that way, the easiest thing for you to do is to be honest, open and honest about the things that you want and what your expectation is. If you don't want to have a relationship, be honest about not having a relationship. Tell her straight up, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm just looking to do A, B, C, D. And if she's with that, then cool. If you're not with that, thank you very much for your time. You're not the one for me, and move on. Natalie should do the same thing, honestly. If you want to have a long-term relationship, you want to have a family, you're complaining that you got married and Michael didn't want to have your kid and didn't want to give you a child, and you wasted 4 years of your life, why are you going to waste more time with a guy who already has 2 kids and is only interested in knocking the bottoms? He's not trying to marry you. He's not trying to be with you. And he's certainly not trying to give you children. Honestly, if I'm going to be 100%, I don't think, and this is going to be very cruel, but I don't think that Natalie is really in a position to have children. I don't think she's mentally stable or mentally mature enough to deal with a child. My name is James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die.